The night before, just a few, inshallah.
So, anything on the floor?
Inshallah, we'll see how much time we got. Naam Saleh? One second, Sheikh. Please. I mean, if you want to ask without it being recorded, I don't mind. Fadl.
Follow up from the question from the weekend. Does a woman have to call the Iqamah if she's praying at home by herself?
Question is, does a man have to make the Iqamah? From the Sunnah, clear. Mandatory, different issue. Got it?
Question from the floor says, is it permissible for the woman to make a comment?
No, he didn't say permissible. He says mandatory.
Is it permissible for the woman to make a comment?
He didn't say that. You're not on the floor. You're standing up.
Question from a...
Touched by the fire. Your cup's still full. Believe in it first, then I'll explain it to you.
Is it permissible?
We've been recording. Question from online. I don't know if we answered this yet. It was from Idris. Is it allowed to break it down or explain a hadith?
Can you get Martha, get the tea, please? Can you get the tea from Sheikh? Uncle Amin. Don't want you can't get up. You can pour me tea, Sheikh. It's not proper. Shukran. Fadl Nafis.
I don't know if you answered it. Idris from Toronto. Is it allowed to break down or explain a hadith based on...
Yeah, we mentioned that.
Nasra from Toronto, California, Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. If there's a particular letter that I find difficulty pronouncing, such as the Dad, and I continue to memorize Quran without correcting it, is this sinful?
So, Bismillah. Question says, if there's a particular letter from the Quran that I'm mispronouncing, I continue to mispronounce, and I continue to memorize the Quran, am I sinful? If you can't say the letter, then there's no sin. And that's because that's something that you're being asked to do that you don't have the ability to do. And the Muslim is not held responsible for that which he or she is coerced or doesn't have the ability to do. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ. Allah says, except for those who are coerced. وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. But his heart is at rest with faith. Now, with regards to the ruling of being coerced, being forced. And that which is mandatory is only based off of what you have the ability to do. As far as I'm not saying this about the sister, or if you're lazy, or not necessarily lazy, but you're not willing to give the necessary efforts to fix it, or you're not willing to empty your cup and follow the teacher and trust the teacher and believe in yourself. You can do it. No, I can't. I can't say this letter. Ra. But you're willing to follow the teacher and trust the teacher, and you don't, then perhaps you're getting a sin. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla has given you an avenue. He gave you a flight square, somewhere for you to move to get to, but you refuse to move, you refuse to get there. And you continue to mispronounce the Quran, it's a problem. Obviously, it depends on what ayah it is. And there's also ikhtilaf among the people of the Quran, the people of the Arabic language, with regards to the makhraj of dad. وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. That's a long issue, okay, in which the people of the Quran differ themselves over. نعم شيخ نوح أليس ذلك كذلك أم أنت ممن لا ترى اختلاف المخارج في هذا الحرف هذا الظاهر الحمد لله طيب, al-muhim, I've seen with my own two eyes specialists of the Quran who differ over the makhraj of dad. Everybody understand this? Is it wala dhalin, wala dhal? Long discussion. So what's important is depending on what the ayah is, where is the dad in the beginning, in the end, and does it change the meaning and lead to a statement of kufr, a major issue, or not? Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initials ULZ, Brooklyn, USA, New York. May Allah bless you, I mean. Does one advise their elderly Muslim parents about the Sunnah? How does one advise their elderly Muslim parents about the Sunnah? They know they have knowledge of the deen, but over the years have become lax.
May Allah bless you as well. You just advise them, tell them at the breakfast table or the breakfast ma'idah, however you guys eat breakfast together, sit down and talk to them. Just it's that simple. Tell them how much you love them. You know, I was reading this, I was studying this, or I remember something that you taught me when I was little, something that I saw you doing, and just advise them, have a discussion with them, be open with them. If there are people who have knowledge of the deen, if they respect the deen, if they are good Muslims, good sound minds, then they'll be willing to listen to that which is clearly reasonable. Clearly reasonable. You taught me, I'm your son, so it's just like that, inshallah, I'm your daughter. As far as if they're staunch or stubborn, or that's a different story. If they're firm upon what they're on, that's a different story. If they're not unwilling to listen, that's what? Different story. If their cups are full, it's a different story. But that which is apparent is that they are good, sensible, reasonable Muslims who have a little bit of knowledge and they love the Sunnah, but they've become laxed. They need to be reminded. They need to be what? Reminded. Things fade. Things rust. Things become stale. Things need to be refreshed. Things need to be cleaned a second time. Painted, waxed, polished. It's the nature of all things. From the heart to jewelry to anything. As time goes on, it's just that simple. So if it was a good piece of steel from the beginning, if it was good gold from the beginning, if it was good quality wood from the beginning, it takes nothing but a little bit of polish. That's it. Dust it off, polish it off. It's just as good as new, if not better than how it was. It's just that simple. If it was weak from the beginning, feeble from the beginning, just gold plated from the beginning, fake from the beginning, hollow from the beginning, that's a different story. So if they were good Muslims, they were upon the Sunnah, but they became lax, old age, sickness, the dunya, politics, then all you need to do is just what? Spray, wipe, and that's it. Use a bit of pledge, and the wood is just as it was when you bought it. If it was what? Good wood from day one. So it's just that simple. There's no lectures, no scholarly, just give them advice and tell them just like that. As far as if they're different Muslims, then it's a different story. It's a different story. How to give them nasiha, debating with them, if they don't listen to you, talking to someone that they'll respect, that's a different story. Wallahu alam.
Idris from Toronto, is it allowed to have multiple intentions for one action?
Some actions yes, some actions no.
Question from online, Idris.
There's a limit now. Huh?
Next one, a question from online.
No, this is just like we have the initials. The new rule today for the question and answers, you can ask more than one question, alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, but it has to be at least another person that comes before you, inshallah.
Initials ULM, Brooklyn, USA, New York. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. What is the ruling on Muslim women vlogging on YouTube, doing makeup tutorials, fashion tutorials, etc.? These sisters have gained so much notoriety that they are now being featured in the mainstream magazines like Allure, Vogue, and TV commercials like CoverGirl. Their adornments are exposed for anyone with access to the internet to see. What advice can you give our young Muslim sisters regarding these types of blogs and taking these sisters as examples? May Allah reward you.
طيب. May Allah bless you as well. We say that the Muslims are on different levels. Iman is of several different branches. They're chambers to Iman. Maratib, darajat, bid'un wa sittun, shu'bah. They're levels of Iman. The Muslims are not on one level of Iman. They're not on one level of fiqh, of tamassuk, holding fast to the deen. Some Muslims that are strong, knowledgeable, righteous, pious. And some Muslims are in the middle. They slip, they get up, they're fought, desires, shaitan. And there's some of us who are just weak, unfortunately. And we're always beat down and kicked by shaitan and by our lust and our desires. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. And some of us who just were pleased with being ignorant and being basic, simple Muslim without the basic knowledge. This is a reality. And Allah talks about this in the Quran in several ayat. Allah talks about how He made those ثُمَّ أَوْرَثْنَا الْكِتَابَ الَّذِينَ اصْطَفَيْنَا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. Allah says, then we called, or we allowed our chosen slaves to inherit the book. فَمِنْهُمْ ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ. He who wrongs himself. Ha! طيب. You gotta be always paying attention. طيب. وَمِنْهُمْ مُقْتَصِد. He who was what? In the middle. وَمِنْهُمْ, Allah says, سَابِقٌ بِالْخَيْرَاتِ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Those who what? Rush forward to good deeds by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Naam Shaykh Nuh? Ma'anam la. طيب, we have three categories. We have ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ, مُقْتَصِد, and سَابِقٌ بِالْخَيْرَاتِ. He who wrongs himself, he who is balanced, he who rushes towards the good. So Allah says that these are ibad. He says our slaves. Everybody clear on this? Our what? Our servants. So the Muslims are different levels. Some Muslim sisters, they leave the home, alhamdulillah, and you don't know what they look like. You know what skin complexion the sister has. Dark, light, middle, a sharif, you don't know. Everybody clear on this? Wallahi alhamd. You can't see nothing on her. And there's some sisters, their eyes are out. Their hands are out. Some sisters, their faces are out. Some sisters wear makeup, nose rings. Some sisters, they'll have a little bit of hair sticking out from under the khimar. Makeup or eyebrows, eyelashes. Some sisters' overgarments, alhamdulillah, are wide. You can't see nothing but the general shape. And some sisters have fitted tight garments in which you can see this and you can see that. And there are some of our sisters who don't wear the hijab at all. Some with tunic top, a scarf around the neck, and some tight pants. Some, and the list goes on. There are what? There are levels of the Muslims. Men and what? Women. Some brothers, inshallah, have full beards. Some brothers have trim beards. Some brothers have shaved faces. Some brothers have tight pants on. Some brothers have on loose pants. Some people are muspil. Some people's pants are above their ankles. Some people wear thobes and izar. And they're what? They're levels of believers. They're levels of believers. So therefore, some of these sisters who do these different tutorials, hijab tutorials, makeup tutorials, all types of tutorials, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing. You have to be realistic with this issue. It's good and it's bad. The good part about it is that it is a means of helping those weak sisters have some type of Islamic identity. Some type of what? Islamic. Everybody understand this or not? You may have to agree. But you understand, it's some type of what? Islamic identity. I can be a Muslimah in 2017, still wear makeup, still have hijab, still have fashion. Muslims are normal human beings. Muslims still have taste. Muslims still have style. That's not necessarily good and correct, but it is better than them having what? No khimar. It's better than those Muslim sisters hiding. My name is not Maryam, it's Mary. Don't call me Muhammad, call me what? Mo. This is a reality. Khalid is now Khalid. It's not as Islamic. Khalid. Call me Khalid, huh? Everybody understand this? We'll stop there. Huh? Well, what? We'll stop there. We don't want to go any further, cut anymore, huh? Riyadh, and then we have what? Riyadh. It's not the same. Not saying that that's the purpose behind it, but it's not what? It's not the same. Everybody, clear, distinct Islamic personality. So some of these sisters and the brothers, we just talking about sisters though, they clearly have what? Major weak iman and identity crisis. So they see a sister, she's vlogging. This is the hijab tutorial. This is the makeup tutorial. Wrap it like this, put it on your neck. This is reality. Let's be real. They looking and say, wow, alhamdulillah, I'm wearing my kimar today. I'm going to wear my hijab today. Huh? I'm a hijabi. Respect me. The hijab is modesty. It's honor. It's this and it's that. And this is a reality. And if it wasn't for many of these videos, some of those sisters will be what? No khimar, no hijab, nothing. And that's a reality. Whether you accept it or not, whether you live in a bubble world, a fake reality world, but that's the haqiqah. And the same applies to Islamic speakers. Oh, Fulan is this, and he's that, and he's this, and he's shaitan, iblis, Allah, qatarahu Allah. That's fine. Among your circle of people, among the people in your masjid, but to the other 50,000 Muslims in Houston or California or Canada or in Utah, this person is getting them to pray. He's getting them to make hajj. He's getting them to make umrah. He's getting them to stop drinking, to get rid of his girlfriend. He's getting his guys to wear a lined up beard, a trimmed beard. Before this speaker came along, he had a what? Face that was worse than mine. This guy came along and he has what? Hair on his face now. So you got to have aql. You got to think about this now. Among the premier elite Muslims, this guy is no good. No doubt about that. La shak. Vlogging, no good. Makeup tutorials, hijab tutorials, what? No. How you gonna get on TV? How you get on YouTube and you showing your adornments to everybody? Your lips, your nose, your big hazel eyes, as the brother said in Target that night. He said big hazel eyes. Not eyes, not hazel, it's big hazel eyes. Your eyelashes, you're showing this to the world. And that obviously goes against the basic concept of the hijab, which is sitr, covering, screening, shyness. But to those sisters that are barely praying, that vlog is a what? It's a major factor. Those Muslims that are barely hanging on, this speaker, that speaker, this doctor, this inspirational guy, he's like Ibn Taymiyyah to them. He gets them to actually practice the fundamentals of the deen. And for them, we say that's what? That's good. Everybody understand this? So it all depends on who it is. A sister that's on the sunnah, that's learning, that's practicing, of course you're not to vlog and make makeup and show your adornments and your voice and your hands and your finger. No. La. No, you're not supposed to do that. If you don't cover your face, if you don't cover your hands, the fuqaha, they mention that it's only permissible to uncover the hands and the face if there's no outward zina on them. You can't have your gloves off and have henna on your fingers. Rings and this and that, your hands are adorned. You have on lipstick, eyeliner, eyelash, mascara, kuhul, blush, this, that, foundation, whatever they call it. If you want to wear those things, you have to do what? Niqab has to come down. So that's just that simple. So some of it is good to some people and certain times and places, and to others it's terrible. Wallah, hopefully that makes sense. You don't have to agree with this. You have your own view. That's fine. This is what I feel, and Allah knows best. Fadl Adam.
Sheikh, how do we derive rulings for fiqh al-aqalliyat, given minorities?
Taib. Deriving rulings for fiqh al-aqalliyat, Islamic or Muslim minorities, is like studying the deen any other way. Qala Allah, qala Rasulullah, qala Sahaba. What is in the Quran, what's in the Sunnah, what the Sahaba said, what they understood, the ijma' that they came upon, and issues of ijtihad will be issues of ijtihad. So we have the specific texts, we have the specific rulings, and then we have al-qawa'id al-kulliyah, the maxims of the deen. Legal maxims, Sharif. Everyone understand this? Legal what? Legal maxims. Not one ruling, but a column that holds up the roof. 5 columns support the roof. Major points that you can always lean on and get support in no matter what. Everybody clear on this? These qawaid kulliyah apply to the Muslim majorities, and obviously min bab awla wa ahra an tantabiq ala ish al-qalliyat al-muslima, Muslim minorities. Everybody understand this? Inna al-mashaqqata tajlibu at-taysir. As an example, mashaqqa, difficulty and hardship, requires and necessitates ease and facilitation. If that applies to the Muslims living in the lands, Egypt, Saudi, Tunisia, Nigeria, these countries where there's a great amount of Muslims, then obviously it applies to the Muslims living in Switzerland. And it should apply to the Muslims living in Sydney and living in this country, in this part of Australia, without a doubt. Everybody understand this? So there's no different. There's no what? It's no different. There are new fiqh issues pertaining to the Muslim majorities, and there are also new fiqh issues pertaining to Muslim minorities. The problem is, Adam, is people that go extreme. Those who go far to the right, there's no such thing as fiqh al-aqaliyat. There's all the same fiqh. There's no exceptions. There's no different rules. You have to practice the Sharia, establish Sharia, just like you're living in the lands of the Muslims. And then there are those who go on the left. Everything is special fiqh. Everything is modern day. Everything is current. Everything is ease. Allah knows what's in your heart. And they just go totally left. And there's nothing left from the deen. Riba is halal. Don't have to grow the beard. Hijab is not mandatory. Eat chicken from McDonald's. Join the army. Vote. This, that. Kullu shay. If'al wala haraj. No sin. That's wrong. And then there are those who are in the middle. Allah only sent down the Quran for it to be followed, for it to be held fast to, for it to be obeyed, respected, for you to stop at Allah's hudud. That's the only reason why He sent it down. But there are times, there are places, there are situations in which a person does not have the ability. It is an extreme difficulty. It's a hardship. There are certain things that the Muslims don't have, such as a solid Islamic financial structure. A solid Islamic financial structure. There are banks, there are websites, there are specialists, but there is no solid, cohesive Islamic banking system in America. So the concept of buying a house, having mortgage, renting to buy, these different things doesn't make riba halal. Doesn't say that you can do whatever you want to do, but it's what? It's a bit different now. Certain things are clearly hard. Certain things are clearly difficult. Some things you just can't do if you wanted to. But that does not change the ruling. That does not change the theory. Then that does not give an absolute ruling for the jahil who has lust, who has weakness, who is ignorant, to just go and open up the door. Faddal. That's dangerous. So there has to be a what? A balance. And this balance can only be based off of fiqh, hikmah, khibra, experience, and waqi'iyah, reality. You have to be real, the real situation of the Muslims. You cannot sit there and say there's no options for Muslims who want to buy homes. It's all riba. That's not true. That's not true. There are some avenues. And then you can't just say that every single thing that you do in the modern 2017 is haram, is riba, because what can you do at the end of the day? So there has to be a what? There has to be a balance. And that's where the people, they go wrong. The mufti on the right and the mufti on the left. The mufti in the middle. But the mufti on the right, the asl is with him and not with the mufti on the left. The asl is that riba is what? Major sin and a destructive act of disobedience. That's the asl. The asl is not riba, is halal. Everybody understand this? And what you make the asl is going to have a determining factor on your attitude in the issue. I'm moving forward from the concept that riba is what? A major sin, not haram, a means of curse. So everything that I say is permissible, makruh, it's okay, is going to be understood in that what? In that light. And not understood in the light of it's permissible, it's okay because it's America. And that's what the muftis on the left, they do all of the time. And the same applies to hijab. The asl of that a woman's body is to be covered, is to be screened. That's the asl. Everybody understand this? Any other example that you want to mention and bring up? That's the what? That's the asl. And that's the light with which you look at the entire situation. Even when it's permissible, we give a fatwa that the sister does not have to wear hijab. Because of the situation, it is still in light of the hijab being mandatory. And the only reason why we say that she can be a bus driver is because she's a single parent, no one to take care of her and her children. She's going to starve. She's not going to have nothing. The Muslims can't take care of her. Go and work for MTA. You can wear a shirt and a pants and a khimar, fear Allah, make tawbah. That's the best that you can do. But that is not the what? Asl. It's not the foundation. That's not the original rule. The original rule is that it's haram for women to wear these pants outside in public. And it does not become permissible until there is a clear need and necessity. Everybody understand this? So there has to be a balance. And you have to keep in mind the what, John? The asl. Wallahu alam. We'll stop here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. There are books on the topic. Many books on the topic in Arabic and in English. There are academic journals. There are all types of articles. Okay, I know of a brother, Sheikh Yahya Sufi, Hafidhullah. He's in Seattle. I was at his dissertation. His thesis was on Fiqh al-Aqalliyat al-Muslima. The fiqh of Islamic minorities. If you can maybe YouTube him, find him, contact him. He's last time I know he was in Seattle. He's older than me, but he graduated a couple years before me from a master's program, and that was his thesis. So people like that, contact them, because they have what? Takhassus. They specialize in those things. Wallahu alam. Yahya Sufi, or Yahya Sufi. He's not a Sufi. That's his name. Everybody understand this? Wallahu alam.